Drug addiction, such a scary term. If we feel that our child is addicted to drug, it really scares us to death. So we feel that now we cannot do anything about it. Is it true? Really? Can't we do anything about it? No, that is not true. We should not never think about the word impossible. Everything is possible. So in this video, I will tell you about the tips and tricks to deal with drug addiction. Thank you. It is very important when a child is a teenager. It is very important to keep in mind about this possibility, and we should prevent. Teenagers are prone to addiction to certain drugs like alcohol, prescription drug to parents, marijuana, and stimulant drugs prescribed for ADHD. Now coming to what is the cause of addiction developing in our teenage child. The most important cause is peer pressure. Child wants to be friendly with certain peer group. He finds them impressive. Once he goes there, he understands that they are taking certain drugs. And if he has to be friendly with them, he also has to experiment the drugs. So the child comes under peer pressure, he tries that drug. There may be unhealthy school environment. There can be lot of pressure from teachers or bullying from peers, and child wants to escape from the reality, and for that he might try certain drugs. There can be unhealthy home environment. The parents are not in terms with each other and there is no harmony at home. Parents are busy in their life and they don't give time to the child, and there is no quality time spent between the family. In that case also, child wants to escape the reality and he develops prey to drugs. Child may just want to experiment with the drugs just for the thrill of it, that how it feels to take drugs. And certain drugs like heroin are so addictive that even if the child takes it once or twice, he falls prey to the drug. There are two types of addiction, physical and psychological. Child might have physical symptoms like shaking, chills, difficulty in eating, not feeling like eating anything, difficulty in falling asleep, just feeling very awful when he cannot describe why he is feeling very awful. These symptoms develop when child is away from the drugs. There are certain downsides to the drug abuse. When we go outside, psychological addiction means having very strong desire to be around the drug and feeling very bad when child is not taking the drug. There is a very thin line between drug abuse and drug addiction. Drug abuse means using it once or twice just for getting high and enjoying yourself. And drug addiction means your whole life revolves around the drugs and you feel very awful when you have not consumed drugs. Now, what are the symptoms? How to know and how to suspect that the child has fallen into this dirty habit? His grades are falling. The child likes to sit alone and doesn't take interest in any family gatherings. Child loses interest in any hobbies which he used to love earlier, and child might develop the habit of stealing. His hygiene may deteriorate. There can be mood swings. He can fall into anxiety, depression, and frustration often. What can be done if we detect these symptoms in the child? Prevention is always better than cure, as I have always discussed. And you will be surprised again when I will say that preparation starts in childhood. When the child is very young, from that time only, in suppose we are sitting on dining table having an informal conversation, let's discuss about the menace of increasing drugs in the society. We can take the example of some family friend or relative who has fallen into the trap and how his life has changed after consuming drugs, so that the child is aware about the bad effects of drugs. If we notice changes in the child behavior, talk to the child in a very friendly and empathetic manner. If the child is consuming any drugs, there can be only two answers, yes or no. If the answer is yes, inquire about the drug he is consuming and the frequency. If the answer is no and you still suspect that the child is consuming the drugs, Inquire in a very friendly and empathetic manner why his hygiene is not good, why he prefers loneliness, why he is losing interest in hobbies, why his grades are falling, and keep a watch on amount of money he is spending, and take out all the valuables from the surrounding which he can lay hands upon. Inquire about the school and peers if you can get any information. Never abuse, scold an already troubled child. Get a home drug test done if you feel it's necessary. If the child is prepared to get rid of the addiction habit, half the battle is won. If the child is not interested, first try counseling yourself in an empathetic manner. If the child is not listening, try a professional counselor. And de-addiction should be the priority compared to studies or any other goals in life. Even if you lose a year, it is very important to get the child de-addicted first, because whole life is very important compared to 1 year, and child might lose his whole life because of this problem. One can always contact a good drug helpline. There are many good drug rehabilitation centers around. Try to find out a good one. They help the child by giving counseling, nutritional diet, healthy environment, and physical exercise. Meditation and pranayama are good ways to improve the mental strength of a child. Once the child comes back from the home, it is very important to give a positive atmosphere at home. Help the child as much as possible. And it is very important, if as possible, get the child admitted to a self-help group. What is the self-help group? There, many children, many teenagers who are suffering from the same problem come and share their experience with each other in a very positive environment. And this is really helpful for the child. To prevent relapsing of the child, it is very important for parents to keep on checking on their peer groups if they are not falling into any bad habit. Always be in touch with the school authorities so that child gets a positive environment in school. Encourage child to develop a very some hobbies which is very interesting for the child, so that it consumes the child and makes the time spare time of the child very interesting. As I The bad news is that teenagers who are addicted as teenagers generally relapse in adulthood. So, as I previously told you, prevention is always better than cure. It is very important for parents to keep a watch on their own physical and mental health. If your child has developed this bad habit, it is very stressful for the parents. And how can the parents help the child if they are stressed out themselves? So it is very important to maintain their own well-being. Sometimes parents might also need a professional help, because it is very difficult to keep positive attitude in such difficult situations.